Hey everyone, welcome back to Knowledge Mondays, your go-to weekly series for quick and actionable networking advice. I'm your host, Dana Alfirovic, and I'm thrilled to introduce our special guest for today, Coach Fergie, a high performance gap coach. Coach Fergie, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Miss Alferovic, I love saying your last name. When I had you on my show, it's like I couldn't wait. So once you taught me how to say it, I was like, yes, I can say it. It's such an awesome name. It kind of flows Alferovic, right? So it's awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm super blessed.
And thank you for having me on your podcast as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. You killed it. You rocked it. I like that the generation that's coming up from behind me is killing it, right? The people that are, because there's a lot of people that aren't. So I feel better with people like you on this earth. So, which is really
Good.
good what you're doing out there for people, and the networking and the teaching and stuff is just unbelievable. It's awesome.
Thank you. So today's theme is online networking and social media. And Coach Fergie has a podcast that I believe it's in the top 1% of all podcasts in the world.
2%, almost there though. I'll get
Almost
there.
there.
Because
Let's
of
get him
people like you
there.
coming on my show. So,
Yes.
yeah, almost
So
there.
let's get him there. And
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you questions in particular about being on podcast and starting a podcast.
Yeah.
So my first question is, what were the strategic steps you've taken to grow your podcast to where it is today?
Thank you for asking that. It's a great question. And it's a weird answer because I dropped my first episode, which was just me talking on the mic December 19th of 2019. Right. And I was starting it just to get used to the microphone and getting used to talking to people better, and also to interview people like you and others to help me level up my coaching game. Right. And then in 2020, this thing happened. I don't know if you heard about it, coronavirus, right? But that happened. And to come on my show, which it's all good stuff. There's no political, there's no nothing that's going to ruffle people's feathers. It was good stuff being put out there. And to come on my show, I do ask for a nominal donation to the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, in which you donated. Thank you so much. Well, what happened is around July of 2020, I got a call from the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and it's very close to me because my little brother killed himself, and I have like friends that I served with in Iraq that killed themselves. So I have vendetta against it. But the organization reached out to me and they're like, "Who are you, and how did you raise $15,000?" And because I don't know how much people donate to come on the show. I just don't. But during that time, people were flooding to look for good content, stuff to level them up. And that's what we do at Time to Shine today. Our mission is we don't want to have anyone to feel like they have no one, right? And to also help them bridge their gap where they are to where they want to get to. So it was good stuff that was out there. So I kind of lucked out with the timing of the pandemic, right? And so we just put it together. And what happened is the Suicide Prevention Lifeline put me on blast. So I did something good and I got something better, right? So that's what I really did with the podcast. But to answer your question, Dana, is that I did it as a selfish endeavor to learn from people like you about networking, to learn from other coaches, consultants, therapists, rabbis, priests, whatever that's helping people level up.
Interesting. And it might seem selfish, but and thank you for off like collecting all those donations and
Yeah.
having, your guests support the suicide
Yeah.
prevention
Yeah,
because
prevention
that's
lifeline. Yeah. And,
uh,
and selfish, by the way, if you look in the dictionary, there's not a negative connotation. It's just taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. Right? So
exactly.
that's what I want to do. If I can learn from you how to better network, right? Then I can pass that on to others. Right. So it's just like when you work out to live longer, right? For your body and to thrive. So again, it's selfish. Yeah, I was selfish, but I was doing it to help all my clients that I'm blessed to coach.
Yeah, and that's really interesting that they in turn like promoted you. So I guess good karma.
All
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
So, what do you think? We kind of covered this, but can you expand more? What do you think made it the biggest difference in your growth? Was it consistency, your guest selection, um, your niche or promotion or
Yeah.
anything else?
You nailed it with the first word, consistency. It was consistent, because there's over 3.8 million podcasts that are out there. And most of them are zombie podcasts, meaning they're there sitting on servers on Spotify or whatever, right? Networks, but they're not being like put out there. And I was told by a very big podcaster, John Lee Dumas, who has Entrepreneurs on Fire, he's like, Fergie, listen, like you stay consistent, it has nowhere to go but up, right? It just has to grow, right? Because there's over a billion blogs out there, but only 3.77 million podcasts. That's it that are on the face of this earth right now, right? So, if you stay consistent, you will climb the ladder, you will grow. And the things that it can lead to for your growth of your own personal endeavors, company, whatnot, is unbelievable if you stay consistent.
That was actually my next question. I'd love for you to expand on talking about how your podcast has led to business opportunities and your growth as a coach. Have you gotten clients from your
Oh my gosh, yeah.
podcast?
Yeah. Thank you for asking that. One, huge shout out to Berta Medina, right? Our good friend that put
Yep.
us together. And Berta, like, she came on my show. She's one of my first guests. I think I did like 40 monologue episodes, just me talking about my coaching and how I can help other people, and putting knowledge nuggets out there. But Berta, like interviewing people like Berta, like really kind of, she has such a affectionately, she's my business crush. I love her, right? And like, but she put me out there even more, right? Which got me in front of companies and people that listen to me. And, I got the face for radio. I mean, I have the voice, right? I have a booming voice. I carry
Mhm.
out, the shows. I make people shine. But the business opportunities that came with it have not stopped to this day. I get speaking engagements for my
Wow.
podcast. I have offered a local radio show in Palm Beach that I get paid to do, and bring in multimillionaires and billionaires and networking and all this stuff into studio. So when you're down here next time, I'm going to bring you into studio and interview you as well. It's got me that. It's gotten me coaching clients left and right. They're like, "Oh man, I heard your knowledge nugget, but oh, then I heard, you interview Berta Medina, and like I would love to meet her." And so I was able to put people together. And again, our slogan is we don't want to have anyone to feel like no one, or feel like they have no one, right? So if you're in any situation, Time to Shine Today will have you covered, right? If you're going to get married and you want to like have the best mindset, I got someone for that. If you need therapy, I have therapists. So it's put me in touch with people that I wouldn't have been able to be in touch with before, and get them on interviews. And if I send business their way, they pay me an affiliate commission, right? So it's
Mhm.
really built, it's kind of like an Angie's List, that old Angie's List of, stuff. So if you look at my site now, I have 500 interviews, and there's people like that when they come on, I have them fill out really a coaching questionnaire to know who's the best person to send to them for that. Like you'll get one after your show drops. Like, hey, there's going to be like 40 different things to pick from. So when people fill out our coaching questionnaire, I might not be the right coach. I rarely ever am. But I have interviewed over 500 coaches, consultants, therapists, business owners, whatnot, that can help people.
Interesting. So, um, what advice would you give someone who wants to start a podcast, but they're not sure how to get started?
Just start, meaning like don't worry about getting the equipment, don't worry about getting the green screen, don't worry about getting all of that stuff, because, and I hate to burst the bubble, nobody's going to really listen to your shows
Mhm.
except for the people you tell about it. So just tell your parents if you're starting, tell your friends and be like, hey, I got this show, I'd love some feedback. But get started. You can get started with a $19 headset, which I have framed on my wall over here, of the headset that I first started with, that have the turn down and the mic in front, and have that. Just start with that, plug it in your computer, but have a format that you're going to go by, have a time frame, stay consistent to it, right? And then make sure that the people that you promise to get it to will get it. And then after that, make sure that you attend Podfest, Creator Con, things that are going to help your podcast grow. And they have Facebook groups and stuff like that. So you can ask people like stuff, whatnot. And I spoke at Podfest last year, and there's people that have came up to me that I met in the Facebook group, and it's so cool to see who I've helped because so many people have helped me.
It's
So
called
just
uh,
start to answer your
yeah,
question.
it's called Podfest.
Yep. Podfest just
Okay.
happened a couple weeks ago. I was unfortunately
Oh,
not able to go in Orlando because of a speaking engagement that I had that kind of conflicted with it. But the last 4 years before that, I was blessed to speak at it and just kind of talk about growing your podcast and staying consistent and if you need coaching on consistency and stuff like that. So I've been blessed to do that. But there's also Creator Con that's coming up in Austin, Texas, and I'm speaking at in April. Austin or Dallas, one of the two. And then there's Podcast Movement, which that one moves cities, and I think it might be Oklahoma City or Tulsa or something like that this year. But it always moves cities, and that's pretty awesome too. So when you go there, you'll see the big podcasters there, and you'll be able to bump elbows with them and have a nice dinner. It's pretty affordable too, so it's pretty solid.
thank you for the tips.
Yeah.
You mentioned in your tip on getting started, just like tell people, tell your
Yeah.
parents, tell your friends. So, one of the things I work on with people is feeling more confident in themselves. What advice would you give to someone who wants to start a podcast, but they're afraid of the judgment they might receive from friends or family, or like they don't, like how they talk or they don't like how they look on camera?
Right. If they're doing that, they're doing it for themselves and not for who they're trying to help in the podcast. And I'm not saying every podcast helps somebody, but if there's podcasts out there that entertain, the people that are entertaining them, they're not thinking about so much what they can do for themselves. They're thinking how they can entertain that listener. So my first thing, and if anybody's out there listening, build an avatar of a listener. I have a 4-page avatar that my podcast coach required me to build. It's who the person is that's listening to your show. I named him Larry. My avatar's name's Larry, and he's a dude that gets up in the morning, knows there's more to life, goes to work, comes home, veges out, watches ESPN, does nothing, doesn't work out, doesn't do anything, doesn't play with his kids and stuff like that. That's the kind of person, but the avatar goes into more detail. Like really know who your listener is, get it in writing and build that show around it, period.
That's really smart because, basic business advice is you have to have a client avatar, but I didn't realize that, for a podcast, like I have
100%.
a podcast avatar, but
Yes.
that's really that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. And I'm blessed to, I lost like a lot of everything in my life when my little brother killed himself, and I lost my real estate business in 2009. And I built my real estate business back up, investments and whatnot. But like coaching, that's when coaching kind of took off. And I built an email list, okay, just to put out stuff. And I've got over 177,000 plus email subscribers. And my late mother was my first subscriber, right? It has grown over the years, right? And just people hop on, they opt in, or else I'll ask them to opt in or whatnot, and they listen to the show, and knowing that as it grows, I'm planting trees that I'm not going to sit in the shade of, right? That I'm helping people that and on down the line, and there's young folks that I take under my wing because the more you mentor, the more immortal you become, right? Like you mentor somebody, they're going to remember, oh, I got that from Fergie, and then they pay it forward, right? So it's very important to me that the right people are hearing the show, right?
Mm.
So if someone's into soap operas and mysteries and stuff, my show's probably not the right thing. But if you're going for a promotion at work and you're trying to rock it, or you're going to an event and you need to know how to have the mindset for it, whatnot, you're stuck in your past and you need to like pull yourself forward and get direction. That's who my show's for, right? You went through a breakup, or something. It's like this show, we have guests that have covered everything. Again, we don't want to have anyone to feel like they have no one.
I love that because there's, let's be real, life is hard and
Yeah.
starting a business, getting a promotion, jobs, life is hard and it can be frustrating, but
Tough.
my mom always says, like whatever you're going through, there's at least a million people who have gone through what you've gone through. So you might as well learn from them so you don't make the same mistake.
Yes. Yep. It's called history for a reason or herstory for a reason, right? It's a story. It's clues they leave behind. Learn from people, right? Listen to people. Like a lot of the kids these days that are out there, they know everything. And I'm like, ooh, so did I though. When I was younger, I knew it. I didn't need anything. But once I came to the realization that, dude, I need to learn and stay in a learner's mindset at all times, which puts together perspective, which puts me in a kind of a noticer thing where I'm noticing things I pick up on faster. My coaching got better, right? So it was just slow it down, listen, and inch by inch, it's a cinch, right? By the yard, it's hard. And was like, I'm gonna start a podcast and kill it. No, you're not. Unless you're, uncle is Snoop Dogg or Joe Rogan or something like that, it's gonna put you on blast. You're not growing fast, dude. Or you got a daddy that's pumping in, 10 grand a month into your show. It's not going to. Do it for the love of it, man. And do it to serve people. And it will grow inch by inch. It's a cinch.
So, talking about growth for a podcast, earlier you mentioned receiving affiliate commissions.
Mhm.
So, what are some ways someone can make money by having a podcast?
Yeah. Um, because of what happened with the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, I'm sponsored. I got sponsors like flying in, right? With that. And again, I didn't do it to make money. I did to help people. So when the sponsors came flying in, I was just, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. Then I had to eventually get somebody to negotiate, an agent to negotiate the stuff for me. And it's put together. And now I'm blessed that my podcast pays all my bills plus, puts me on vacations and whatnot. Not
Wow.
including my coaching. It's not including my, real estate business and stuff. So it's a passion project that turned into a pain project, right?
Wow.
So like if you're doing it and like getting the affiliates and stuff like that, that's easy. You can reach out to a company and just say, listen, I would love to just say the name of your product on the air and put a link into the show notes. And could you set me up with a URL, an affiliate link that when they click on it and if they buy something, I get compensated. That's where I would start. Like I would start with that. Like find a product that you love, that you believe in, that fits the theme of your podcast, and just ask for an affiliate link. And then just start talking about it. Maybe make a break in the podcast. Hey, we're gonna throw it to, Sleep Number Beds, and then get a script from Sleep Number Beds and read that out. I say that because Sleep Number Beds is one of my bigger sponsors. Indeed.com is one of my sponsors. So
Oh.
it's like I'm able to, that's what I would do is just to reach out to companies and ask for an affiliate link and then talk about them, use their product, Dana, of course, right?
Mhm.
You know, um, but yeah, that's what I would do to start with the affiliate marketing side. Because everything in life, like people don't realize, if you go to McDonald's, which I don't go as much as I used to, but I would love to go because I love their fries. But if you go to a McDonald's, do they own the real estate that McDonald's sits on? The franchise or no?
No.
Does he own the food? No, he has the right to sell McDonald's and McDonald's pays him an affiliate commission, right? How about a car lot? The car owner lot does not own all the cars, probably doesn't even own the real estate. He has the right to sell the cars and get paid an affiliate commission. So you can buy this water bottle, you can get this water bottle, reach out to thefeed.com. It's the running people that sponsor me, and say, listen, I would like to sell your water bottles, and I'd like an affiliate, link, put it in there. And then during it, say, hey, go to timetoshinetoday.com/ the feed, and do that. So put it out there and just work to promote because if you start selling stuff for people, people are going to know, right? Right.
Mhm.
So, and do it because you love it, Dana. Don't do it because you're going to make money. Don't do it, and just make sure you're serving people because if you don't serve people, you're not getting paid. I promise you. No matter what you do in life.
That's true. And I love how your approach, you just like reach out to the companies
Mhm.
because it's like why not? It doesn't hurt. And
No.
will you get a response? Probably not,
Yeah.
like most cold outreaches, like for networking purposes, but it never hurts. And you just need that one sponsor to agree.
Yeah.
And if you have an episode, you could maybe if it's a large, high value product, you could get a lot of money.
Hmm.
So,
And interview people and put the shine on them. Don't put it on you. Put it on the person you're interviewing. Like if I interviewed you and you had a product that I could sell, I'd be like, Dana, What's your product? Oh, Fergie, it's my networking, kick butt networking stuff, which you have, right? Which I know what it is. I just don't have it in front of me because you told me about it. But actually get the link and be like, Dana, can you give me an affiliate link for that? Just set me up at 10%, and put it in the show notes. And because these podcasts are going to be evergreen, right? So, squad, if you're out there listening, evergreen just means it sits out there forever. You do the recording, it sits out there forever. I have 6-year-old, podcast interviews that are still getting downloads, that people are still buying products off of them, right?
Wow.
So my name, my affiliate is in that link that they click on. So I just get paid. I got paid for something that I dropped in 2021, and it's a big ticket item. It's a $10,000 item, and he paid me,
Okay.
25%, right?
Nice.
And
Wow.
so it's like, you get that. So it's like, just don't be afraid to reach out. I'm blessed now that I have a whole room of swag that I have to go through and see if I want to promote it, right? So, but it took me 4 years to get there, to that part, right? So it's just consistency. That was the first word that you said. That's the strongest word in business, period. Love and consistency,
True.
period.
Don't give up. Keep being
Ever.
consistent. So, speaking about interviews, I think being featured on podcasts is a great networking tool to get your brand out there and, potentially get more clients and grow your expertise and authority.
Mhm.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to start getting featured on podcasts, but they haven't done any podcasts yet?
Listen to the podcast. Promise you this, because like I'm sure one of your like questions will be about a pet peeve, maybe, that might come up, right? Is like, as a podcast host, I used to do it all myself. Now I'm blessed to have a team of Donnie, which I think Donnie's communicated with you, maybe
Yes.
Tiffany, whatnot, right? So the biggest pet peeve that I have, if people are trying to get interviewed, do not go in and say, I'm awesome, you need to interview me, or I'm awesome, I have value to give to your audience. And we have an automatic reply, Dana, that says, like, let's say you said that, which I know you wouldn't, but let's say you said it. I would, automatic, Dana, it was great to connect. Tell us which one of our episodes resonated with you the most, right? That forces you to listen, for one, if you're serious about coming on our show, right? And also make sure it's the right fit, right? I had a
Mm.
lady that has kind of a sexy kind of podcast or sexy kind of sales, and just wouldn't fit for my show, but she kept on bugging me. I'm gonna be great for time to time. I'm like, no, you know who you'd be great for? My friend's show, Two Wild Orchids. That'd be great for you. My
Yeah.
show, it's not. Listen, if you're out there, squad, and you want to get interviewed, right? Listen to the show, send an email to the podcast host and say, "Oh man, that interview with Dana Alferovic, oh my gosh, that was awesome. This is what I liked about it.
Mm.
Here's my qualifications. Do you think that I would be a right fit?" Don't say you'll be a right fit. Ask them, "Do you feel I'd be a right fit?" But the
Mm.
second you compliment somebody, you're a right fit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, if it fits the protocol of your podcast. So listen to the show, reach out to the host, and give them a compliment on an episode, because it ain't about you. It's about the people you're trying to serve.
Great. That's so important. Yeah, like mentioning, you've listened to the podcast instead of just like, hey, because I like when last year or yeah, 2025 when I was trying to get on podcasts like January, I was just like made a Facebook post in a Facebook group like, hey, this is what I can talk about. I would love to be on a podcast if this seems like a fit.
Yeah,
Reach out, and then people reached out to me.
yeah.
So I just yeah did it like that. So.
If you are a host and looking for guests, Podmatch is great. Podmatch.com was started by Alex Sanfilippo, a really good friend of mine. And it's a great place. It's kind of like Match.com for dating, but for podcasters. They match people up. And also LinkedIn. Get on LinkedIn, find people that are doing the stuff that you want to learn from. Again, learn from your guests, right? Promote them, because you don't know who they know. When I got introduced to Berta Medina, who introduced us, I didn't realize the powerhouse she was, but I put all the shine on her. That's it. She's like, Fergie, that was awesome. We were texting like all last week about a project we're working on, and it was just like, remember when? And it's like, the stuff like that. And I've introduced her to people that have blown up her stuff, and same with me. And it's you don't know who people know. You just don't. But, again, you know, put it on the other person. Put the shine on others. Everyone's like, me, put the light on me. And it's just like, dude, I promise you, if you put the shine on others, you're gonna grow. Period.
That's a good point. And you're right. So my other question is about like a turnoff. So what you kind of mentioned it
Yeah.
already, but can you maybe expand or provide additional insight on things that would make a guest pitch stand out and what would be an immediate turnoff for
Yeah.
someone to do a cold outreach?
Yeah, cold outreach. If I was to send you an email, I would be listening to the networking knowledge every Monday for at least 3 weeks, right? And then I'd go back in their in their archives and see if there's anything that stood out for me, right? And I mean, my car is a rolling university, right? I'm always listening to stuff, something that's going to level me up, right? I've listened to at least 40 of your show or 30. No, what? Like 10, because I marked them off. I ticked it off for you, for your stuff.
Wow.
And it
I'm
was like,
flattered, honestly.
no, it's because I want to bring the best for you. Like when I'm here, like so many people, again, Dana, and this kind of runs into the question you asked, they want to put all the shine on themselves, right? It's fine. But the thing is if you put the shine on others, you will get yours. I promise you. Like
Mhm.
you will. It's just like everybody who's in for that instant gratification. Like there's so much lack in life that I have to have mine now that no, there's so much abundance out there that the more you serve, the more you're going to get. It just won't come as quick. Go get a waitress job or a waiter job and get your money that night if that's what you need. And there's no shame in that game because
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, I'm a huge believer in something my coach taught me is work your day job, but mind your own business.
Mm,
Okay. Work your day job, squad, but mind your own business. Meaning work what you do during the day, but in the off hours, because 9 to 5, you make a living. 5 to 9, you make a life, right? So
exactly.
flex your hustle muscle off the clock, right? And then, but just do it and do it from a place of service. Because everybody that's successful is giving more. And then the ones that receive a lot say, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, uh, all those people gave the world something huge, and they have a right to be the richest people in the world, right? Because they gave first, right? That's the thing. Everyone wants
Absolutely.
that quick dopamine hit. Woohoo! I want, dude, you got to give. If you don't give, you're not going to get, I promise you, you won't. You might run into some flukes again, or a trust fund baby where mommy and daddy's paying for everything, which is fine. No shame in that game either. Because I know if I'd had one, I'd be doing it too. Right.
I was
But
a trust fund baby. Yeah.
yeah,
Life would be much easier.
yes, of course. And I'm not bashing them because most of the trust fund babies I know are really cool people that give a ton. Again, I live in Palm Beach. It's a trust fund baby like heaven for them, right? But the most of them that I know, or maybe it's just that I hang out with, they give so much, you know? And that's another thing is if you're going to podcast, get in the right circles of people, right? It's like you will never, ever, 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 ever outperform your inner circle. You never will. The people you hang out with in the podcasting world will dictate the size of your podcast, right? I promise you. And that's the thing is I made it a point to meet the John Lee Dumases, right? To meet the Pat Flynn's, to meet the Chris Cormiers, the people that have these big podcasts and learn from them. And if they have a product that helps me, invest in the product, buy it. Don't look for freebies all the time because it's a business. Invest in yourself.
Exactly.
Sorry for rambling. I know.
No,
Let's keep
no,
this
that
short,
was,
love. I just get so like you're
yeah,
asking me all these awesome questions, which I had no doubt that you would because you're you. But it's just I get fired up about it.
I love that. So, okay, this is my last question.
Okay. Sorry.
And no, because I'm just asking you, because I think I told you I had like six, and then I come up with others.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
So, one trend I've been seeing lately, I don't know if you've been seeing this as well, but then people are charging money to for you to get featured on their podcast. How do you feel about that?
Um, that is teach their own. Not going to knock them.
Hmm.
I won't pay a dime to come on. That's me. I've been offered, oh, this would be 250. I'm like, no, you got anything I can donate $250 to? You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Because I feel that as a podcasting, like if you look at a radio show, a real radio show, when you flip on the radio, you think they get paid like that? No, they get paid by the amount of listeners that they bring in, right? They get paid by products that invest into the radio station that want commercials made by them, right? So, like, just again, inch by inch, it's a cinch. Start small and then move forward, right? Don't think that you're going to hit a home run from jump, you know? So, and I'm not knocking anybody that does it, that charges people to come on, but, I don't do it. I have a friend that does it and she's awesome. She made sure she didn't charge me. I'm kidding. Like Deanna, I love you. I'm going to put you in touch with Dana. Yeah, she's huge, huge podcaster up in Chicago. Um,
cool.
and but like, yeah, we'll I don't believe in charging people. I just don't. But if you do, make sure you are coming correct. Meaning like you interview that person, they better be featured everywhere
Mm,
and they better be at the top. And you better be taking some of that money and boosting their posts and putting them on platforms and stuff like that. If you're just pocketing it, then you know what? You'll see that you'll run dry really fast. Like the money that I get pays Donnie, pays Tiffany, pays sound engineer, stuff like that, and I'm just blessed to get what I get per episode. But it didn't start there. It was like $50. Now it's like 800. So it's like, you start getting, the more that you're putting it out there. Yeah. So I don't do it. I'm just rambled on. Sorry. I don't do it, but if you do it, just make sure that you're providing exactly what you say you're going to provide.
good. Thank you for sharing your opinion because I was curious and
Yeah.
I'm kind of like you for that. Like I've reached out to some local media because I really want to be featured on the news and then
Hmm.
they reached back out. They're like, "Oh, would you, want to be, be a sponsor feature?" I'm like, "Well, I just hoping just to be, a guest feature."
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's another goal of mine. I really want to be featured on the news, by the way.
Yeah, if
So,
that was the case, because that's my world, right? Like my WJNO, it's a news channel, right? I'm the top weekend talk show in Palm Beach. Um, but they're like you can go and find local AM stations where the platform isn't huge, but you can still say you're featured on that, right? You mean as heard on, this and that. So, but there's little ones that will look for that kind of stuff and be like, listen, I'm not in a position, but I have a message to get out there and I will promote it like crazy for you, the host. Give them something. So many people go in, me, I interview me, I'm the best. There's a lot of people that are best, right? What can you do for that station that is going to level them up? Not about you. That's the one thing. It's just once I stopped it being about me and I turned on
mm,
my superpower of curiosity and I made it everything about other people, I got way more than I could have ever, you know,
mm,
imagined. I mean, protect your brand, but don't go out there making it about me, me, me. Like even when I go to networking, I think I've told you this. When I go to networking events, when I walk away from a person, I want them to go, "What the hell does that guy do?" We might disagree on that because you teach networking, but I know that if I find out the family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, the FORD of that person I'm talking to, and I go out to my car, I write them a thank you note, put it in the mail, say, "Thank you for your time, Dan. It was awesome talking to you. I'd love to have a one-on-one coffee with you," right? Because I feel that I could help you, right? I don't say that, but when we had the coffee, that's when I pitch. I don't
mm,
pitch like in front of a lot of people. I'll pitch it like when I sit down with people. And then even when I pitch, it's like, hey, if there's one thing that you could change right now, what would it be? And why aren't you doing it? So it's just something that I've really like I get asked to come speak on stage a lot about networking and also brought into companies and teaching executives, because people don't go out and network anymore. like you
yeah.
teach the people, like you're awesome at teaching, but get out to events, get out to this. They don't do that as much anymore. You have to do that. I call it press and flesh. You got to get out there and press flesh and meet people, shake hands,
Press.
right? Do that.
That's funny. Well, Scott, thank you, or Coach Fergie. I
You
still,
can
yeah,
call me
don't know what
whatever.
to
Come
call
on.
you.
You just better look me up next time you're back in South Florida. When you and your man come down here,
Yeah,
we'll come down and we'll get you in the studio so I can see how
definitely.
it runs. And that, what's another thing, Dan? I'm putting this out there on the air. You should look at AM stations there or even FM stations that aren't huge and go and say, listen, do you have any slots that are like 1 in the morning that you just need something to fill in for? And then you don't actually go into the studio at 1 in the morning. You record and they put it out at that time. And then like
Hmm.
say, I'd love to interview people from Charlotte and like put shine on those people. Did you interview a business owner in Charlotte? They're going to be like, this girl had me in the radio studio. Every single person I bring into Palm Beach into the studio, I've either spoke to their company or I'm coaching someone from their company, right? So
Hmm.
that's just another thing. Be the host. Do what you're doing here, but in the studio. Now that may be like, okay, well, it'll be like 1,000 a month. Go find a sponsor. Find a mortgage broker. Find something like that. Be like, listen, you know what? Could you sponsor me? You'll get all these commercials during the week as you're the sponsor, but come out and then I'll do a commercial break for you, blah, blah, blah. It's like I'm sorry, I'm preaching, but you would be awesome in Charlotte as on the radio, especially what you're doing for the city of Charlotte, teaching them how to network correctly.
That's a great idea. Thank you so much. I'm definitely
Sorry,
gonna
I'm
look
just
at that.
rambling.
No,
I'm getting
it's
excited.
okay. No, I appreciate it. You gave me so much great advice. So, Scott, where can our listeners find you if they want to learn more about you, your coaching services, and where could they listen to the podcast?
Just the podcast is Time to Shine Today. If you put that, make sure you put today at the end. If you find that, or if you find it, you'll be able to listen to the podcast on any of the platforms, Spotify, Apple, or iTunes, all that jazz. And if you are looking, if you know what you want, but you just don't know how to talk yourself into it, I have a free hour power coaching that's is complimentary. Again, we'll dig into your blind spot. Just call my team 561-440-3830. Again, 561-440-3830. And we will send you a link to help. I just need a couple questions and we'll set up a time and you'll talk to me personally and for a full hour and we'll work through some blind spots. Thank you for letting me have that platform with that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to follow us and leave a comment below to tag some friends as well. Bye now.
Love it. Love your guts, man. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Thank you.